Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we are going to understand electional astrology. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share my videos. Keep me going in the algorithm, baby. Because Piscean is here to teach you astrology before it's too late and we're all back to stardust. So, electional astrology correlates with celestial timing. We are choosing the moment. So if natal astrology answers, who am I? And predictive astrology answers, when will it happen? Then electional astrology answers, when should I act? It is the most practical branch of the art, the branch that empowers the native to work consciously with cosmic rhythms. Now, electional astrology is the art of choosing the most favorable moment. Ooh, holy shit. Electional astrology is the art of choosing the most favorable moment to begin an undertaking by aligning the start of any venture with harmonious celestial configurations. The astrologer seeks to maximize the venture's potential for success and minimize its obstacles. So we're going to start off with part 1, which is the philosophical foundation, as you can see. We're going to start with the freedom within fate. Electional astrology rests on a profound philosophical position. While the natal chart sets the parameters of destiny, there remains freedom with those parameters. We cannot choose whether to be born, but we can choose when to marry, when to launch a business, when to travel. The election does not override the natal chart, it works within it. A favorable election for marriage cannot make a relationship successful if the natal chart shows fundamental incompatibility, but it can optimize the timing for a relationship that already has potential. Now let's look at the principle of resonance. The election works through resonance. A moment when Venus is strong and well aspected resonates with the energy of love, making it an optimal time to begin a relationship. A moment when Mercury is direct and well aspected resonates with communication, making it optimal to sign contracts or launch writing projects. Now I would like to present to you the fundamental rules of electional astrology. The first rule is the moon is paramount. So in electional astrology, the moon is the most important consideration. The moon represents the public, the flow of events, and the emotional tone of the undertaking. A well-placed moon supports success. A poorly placed moon undermines it. So the moon's sign. The moon should be in a sign compatible with the undertaking. For a wedding, moon in Libra, harmony, or Taurus, stability is excellent. Moon in Aries, impulse, or Gemini, changeability is less favorable. So the moon's phase, the moon should be increasing in light from new to full for undertakings meant to grow. For endings or things meant to decrease, the waning moon is appropriate. The moon's aspects. So the moon should make favorable aspects to benefics such as Venus or Jupiter and avoid affliction from malefics such as Mars or Saturn. The moon's last aspect before leaving its sign is particularly important. It quote-unquote carries the energy into the next phase. And then void of course moon. Never elect when the moon is void of course, making no major aspects before leaving its sign. Things begun then come to nothing. They lack traction in the world. Alright, rule 2 is the ascendant is the undertaking. The ascendant of the election chart represents the undertaking itself, its identity, its beginning, its approach to the world. So the ruler of the ascendant should be strong and well placed. The ascendant sign should be appropriate to the undertaking for a business launch, Capricorn or Taurus, stability is excellent. For a creative project, Leo or Pisces may be better. And the ascendant ruler should be in a harmonious sign and house, making favorable aspects. If possible, the ascendant ruler should be angular, 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th houses. Okay? Now I would like to go over our third rule, which is the 1st and 10th houses. The 1st house represents the undertaking's initiation, and the 10th house represents its public success. Both should be strong, with benefic planets present if possible, and malefics absent. Malefics, such as Saturn and Mars, in the 1st or 10th house, can indicate obstacles, delays, or difficulties. However, for certain undertakings, a malefic may be appropriate. Mars in the 10th house for a military career, or Saturn in the 1st house for a serious spiritual practice. Alright, rule 4 is the house of matter. The house of the matter, the house ruling the matter at hand, should be strong. For a marriage election, the 7th house should be strong. For a home purchase, the 4th house. The ruler of that house should be well placed and favorably aspecting the moon or the ascendant. And our 5th rule is avoid affliction to the moon and ascendant ruler. The moon and ascendant ruler should not be combust within 8 degrees 30 of the sun, under the beams within 17 degrees of the sun, retrograde, in their detriment or fall, square or oppose malefics. Not again, Google. Alrighty, so part 3. Mercury retrograde. Google's tweaking out. Look at this. Alright. So part 3 is elections for specific purposes. So we have marriage elections, right? The wedding chart becomes the birth chart of the marriage. And here are our key considerations. So Venus and Jupiter, strong, love, and expansion. Why? Because Venus and Jupiter, right? Moon and Libra or Taurus, harmony and stability. 7th house, strong, partnership success. Avoid Mars or Saturn in the 7th house, conflict or coldness. Increasing moon, growth of the union. Alright, and business launch elections. Capricorn or Taurus ascendant, stability and longevity. Jupiter in the 2nd or 10th house, financial expansion. Saturn well aspected, structure and discipline. Mercury direct, clear communication. Moon and Earth signs, practical foundation. So we know that business is what anyways? The Earth signs. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. And we know that with marriages, we're looking at the planet of expansion, which is Jupiter. And we're also looking for Venus aspects, as well as sign it's in and house. Alright. Surgery. We are looking for planets that are malefic. such as Mars, Saturn. Alright, so medical elections require special care to protect the body. Moon not in sign ruling the body part. If operating on the throat, avoid Moon in Taurus. It rules the throat. And I'd beg to differ. Anything in Taurus, really, like if Pluto's in Taurus, let alone Mars, Saturn. Hell, even the Sun in Taurus, not just the Moon. But Taurus is the throat chakra. It's the bull, right? So it gives a horsey type of voice. Mars not afflicting the Moon. Mars rules cuts and inflammation, which we just spoke about here. And Moon in fixed signs, stability during recovery. Jupiter favorable, healing and expansion of health. Alrighty. Travel elections. Pretty big one. Alright. Strong 9th house, meaning a successful journey. Moon trine or sextile Jupiter, protection and expansion. Avoiding the Mars square Moon, bringing accidents. And Mercury direct, clear communication and logistics. So what do we mean when we say the 9th house is strong or it's weak or it's fallen and debilitated? Well, first of all, watch my other videos and you can see all my playlists where I talk about stuff like this. But what we mean, for example, is when we say the 9th house is strong, let's say the 9th house, Sag is in the 9th house where it's the most happiest. You know, it's in the 9th house, as well as Capricorn, where it's exalted in Mars in my own natal chart. Anyways, so creative launch elections. We have a strong 5th house, right? Creative expression being like Leo. Moon in Leo or Pisces, dramatic or inspired. Venus or Neptune favorable, beauty or transcendence, and a dignified Sun, vitality and recognition. Sun in Aries, where it's exalted. Good. Alright, now we're going to go over advanced electional techniques, such as the part of fortune in elections. So the part of fortune in an election chart shows where the undertaking will find its greatest success and satisfaction. If possible, the part of fortune should be in a favorable sign in an angular house, making harmonious aspects. I like to talk about fixed stars in elections. So fixed stars add precision to elections. For fame and recognition, elect with the ascendant or MC conjunct Regulus or Spica. For spiritual work, elect with the moon conjunct Fomalhaut. And here's our warning. Fixed stars like Algol, the head of Medusa, are generally avoided in elections unless the undertaking specifically requires their intense energy. For example, a surgical election might actually benefit from Algol's quote-unquote cutting energy. Planetary hours. Planetary hour adds refinement to an election. Once a favorable day is selected, choose the hour ruled by the planet appropriate to the undertaking. So Sun, it's leadership, recognition. Moon, it's emotions, home, family. Mars is action, competition, and surgery. Mercury is communication, contracts, travel. Jupiter, expansion, wealth, education. Venus, love, art, pleasure. And Saturn, structure, commitment, and long-term projects. Alright, part 5 is the electional process, and step 1 is defining the purpose. Because before we even look at any ephemeris, we need to define exactly what the undertaking is and what success looks like. A wedding election for a quiet civil ceremony differs from a wedding election for a grand public celebration, right? Step 2, identify essential requirements. List the non-negotiable requirements. Moon not void, moon increasing for growth, ascendant ruler dignified, house of matter strong. Step 3, scan the ephemeris. Look for days when the moon is in a favorable sign and making good aspects. Eliminate days with moon void or afflicted. Step 4, refine with houses. On promising days, cast charts for various times, looking for strong ascendants and appropriate house placements. Step 5, check fixed stars, add fixed star considerations for precision. Step 6, consider the native's natal chart. The best election works with the native's natal promises. A Saturn-ruled person may actually benefit from Saturn in the first house of an election. A Venus-ruled person needs Venus to be strong. Alright, part 6 is limitations and ethics. What elections cannot do. Elections cannot override natal destiny. If the natal chart shows fundamental incapacity for marriage, no election will create a successful marriage. Elections work with potential, not against limitation. Elections cannot guarantee outcomes. They optimize conditions, but do not eliminate free will or unforeseen circumstances. Ethical considerations. The electional astrologer must consider the wider implications of their advice. Is this election harming anyone? Is it aligned with the native's genuine good? Is it being used to manipulate others? Medical elections require particular care. Never advise against necessary medical treatment based on unfavorable elections. Our conclusion is the cosmic architect. Electional astrology transforms the astrologer from a passive observer to an active participant in destiny. By choosing moments aligned with cosmic harmony, we become architects of our lives, building with the grain of the universe rather than against it. The advanced electional astrologer approaches this work with reverence, knowing that each elected moment sends ripples through time, ripples that will return to shores we cannot yet see. In the next video, we will explore horary astrology, where the astrologer answers specific questions through the chart of the moment the question is asked. With peace and love, Piscean out. We'll see you in the next one.